Thank you.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here today to talk to you about CommandApp, the ultimate digital briefcase, as we like to call it. I'm Brett Davis. I'm the CEO and founder of CommandApp.
And I'm Michael Corbin, the CMO of CommandApp, and thanks for having us. We're going to walk the walk this morning and show you something that you've probably never seen anything like it. CommandApp is a situational customer engagement platform where you get to the right piece of content at the right time. So we're going to begin with the why.
So we're here obviously to talk about our product. Just as important, we're here today to talk about something that's more than a bright idea, something that truly is a disruptive technology.
Now, to build something and launch something disruptive, you have to have industry experience and insight, and we have it. Our team has been helping companies large and small for over 2 decades with their communication challenges.
We've built digital media communications, educational programs, videos, 3D animations. All of this was in lieu of helping companies support their communications. And what we quickly found out was getting those communications, those great things that we were successful building, out into the hands of the people that use it the most, the people in the field. So that's where we said, okay, well, let's dig into that. Let's see if there's something that we can provide a solution for.
All right, so the opportunity for us to be disruptive, there's a huge gap between marketing and sales, and then between sales and the customer. And that's what we set out to do, is to provide more effective tools to help connect and bridge that gap between marketing and sales.
And again, we had insight into what they were struggling with, so we said we had the right tool to start to tackle this.
So we identified 3 major disruptive forces that are taking place everywhere right now. The first is that customers today demand, they want content specific to their needs. They want to see the product working in their environment, doing the thing that they do under the conditions that they face every day.
And next you have the fact that the technology that's out there, PowerPoint, what have you, it's ineffective presentation technology. So if you have a question 5 slides in, it might say, okay, well now slides 6 through 8 are now irrelevant. The other slides that I decided to leave out, I need those back in. And so really you spend hours the night before trying to get your presentation ready for the audience that you're talking to. This linear approach, this way of attacking it, just wasn't working.
And the missed opportunities, the ability to follow up instantly, it's a changing world, and that's what we set out to fix. The third thing is that if you're going to build a custom tool or a custom business app, they're very expensive. And you've got ad agencies, you've got programmers. Once you build your app, it never ends what the cost is to deploy a business app today. The average cost of a business app is over $140,000. So there's where we win. We can, by bridging the gap between the C-suite and the sales associates out in the field, we're eliminating the cost of the software and the custom programming, the agencies to deploy your own business app.
And then bridging the gap between the sales and product support teams and engaging with those on the front line. Again, replacing outdated, disjointed technologies that are going on right now. So we knew that we had to focus on these 2 areas and attack it with technology, and that's just what we did.
All right, so introducing CommandApp. CommandApp is a cloud-based platform where anyone can easily build, deploy, and manage your own business communication apps with tool sets.
So building CommandUp is easy. Simply choose the business app that fits your customer engagement need, answer a few questions about your market, about your services, about your products, and then you customize with your brand look and feel, and then upload content as you build. CommandApp does the rest by putting together the right combinations of proven navigation templates and tool sets to handle your business engagement app needs. It really is that easy.
Yeah, it's just like Vistaprint has transformed the printing industry and how easy it is to get your own business cards. We wanted to set out and try to make it that easy to create your own business app. And what we set out, we had to prove this concept, and so what we've been doing for the last couple of years is, working. We had to prove that the big guys wanted it. And we had to prove that, you know, if they wanted it and there was a market for this, then we could take what we've learned and translate that back down to a basic level where anyone could build their own app. Get connected here in a second. And so we've done that. And, you know, we've landed, we have some really big clients, so they'll catch up to me, like Caterpillar, Scania USA, a lot of manufacturers are who we focused on. And, you know, not only have they bought the, you know, signed on with us and validated the idea, they really value it as a platform. So over half of our customers come back to us to build upon their app and continue to add content product to it. So with CommandUp in our platform, you know, it gives you control, and you can manage your content, you can manage your users, we have analytics, it's secure, and you log in and you can manage all of your apps in one place. And so by apps, we mean your presentation apps, trade show kiosk apps, marketing apps, supporting dealers and distributors.
Again, as Michael said, when we went to launch this, so again, we had that history of building communications for companies, and then we started building the technology and said, let's prove this before we really go to the market. Let's go after some big clients and see if that's something that they want and need. And what we did is said, let's prove it in the marketplace, and we went after to do that, and we did that.
Yeah, so here's a few examples. I mentioned a few of them, and you know, these are huge companies that we primarily focused on, and you know they did their due diligence and went out and looked at the competition, and the fact that they chose CommandApp was validation. We can handle any complexity, and that's where a lot of our competition are falling short. There's still kind of files and folders, and it's, you know, you have to know what you're looking for to get to it. So let's jump in. We're going to show you an example of Scania. Let's show you one of the apps.
So they contacted us. They're out of
Austin,
Texas. They called us. We did an online demo. They said they had a trade show coming up, and they needed something to where they could have all their products in one place and able to deep dive into a deeper conversation should it go there. So we built them a CommandApp to house all their products, so form and function come together in a way so suddenly they really looked innovative, like the company they are.
Yeah, so, you know, they used to own Saab, if the logo looks familiar. Now they focus on engines. So they wanted to talk about their engines, you know, to be able to show their full line of product, and then to be able to dive into it. And then, you know, here's an example of a situational path to the content. So one thing we do is work with our clients to, you know, do a customer-first approach that leads to their solutions rather than with their solutions. So, you know, their conversations begin with what market are they in? Say it's agriculture, and you can, you know, now we narrow down what content is shown to them, throw a combine in the background, there's relevancy, and, you know, in the end you get to the product. One thing about CommandUp is that we can handle all file formats. So we're literally taking all of our company, you know, clients' materials, collateral, multimedia, 3D models, and we can bring it all into one place, and then you can deploy it to any mobile device. So we're really standardizing. PowerPoint is just one format that can be put into CommandUp.
And again, the key there is to have everything at their fingertips from a product level. So if you're talking to an engineer and they want to go into the spec sheets, you've got those right there. You can go into that, have that conversation, move things forward. You don't have to say, I'll get back to you on that, and then have to remember that, send them something after the fact. You're able to address everything right there in one meeting. And that's key, and that's what we found that a lot of our customers, they love about it. They can quickly go from presenting complex things to gathering data, gathering information with tool sets.
Yeah, so you can email any requests from any piece of content within the app. So you're capturing a quality lead, you're fulfilling that request, and then when you follow up, you know what they were looking for and what their interest was.
So that's tip of the iceberg. It shows you one example of how a customer used CommandApp.
So, you know, again, it's more than just a presentation platform and tool. We're adding tool sets, things like cost calculators, custom forms, assessment forms, quote builders. You know, you can have a library of documents that you can search on. All these tools, you know, as we build them onto the platform, they become available to everyone else, and that's what we're doing is, you know, slowly adding these different tool sets. And you know, our pricing is based upon 3 factors, and if you want specifics, let's talk afterwards. You know, it's really, there's a subscription fee to it, an onboarding fee, because we've got to take all your content and put it onto the platform, then we turn the keys over, and then professional services, and that's where if we're creating content or doing some custom program or a CRM integration, those are all, you know, independent prices. So we have been focused on the enterprise level, and what we're doing is working our way backwards as we build the platform. You know, eventually we'll get to that basic level where you can just self-serve and come on and build it yourself.
So at the end of the day, you're going to go to your local coffee shop and you're going to see business getting done over a command app.
You go to a trade show and the kiosk in the booth will be powered by CommandUp.
You'll drive by a local construction site and a daily safety maintenance checklist will be done using a command app.
And my favorite, you'll someday see a TED Talk, and the latest medical breakthrough will be presented using CommandUp.
So why we're here today is to introduce CommandApp, obviously, and then to see if you're ready to be part of the CommandApp revolution. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, so do we have questions for CommandApp? Who would like to start? And please wait for the microphone, we can hear you.
Are you cloud agnostic, or are you tied into one of the big providers? Where is your cloud stuff? Where is it hosted?
AWS. Yeah, we got that for security. We've got one of our clients needs HIPAA compliant, back-end security, all that. So that's one of the reasons why we went with AWS.
I was curious, what percentage of the budgets that are allocated towards the resources that are in the app actually ends up paid to you versus spent for them creating video, fact sheets, whatever else? As in, what % reduction are you actually doing on their costs?
Typically, we take whatever they have and get it in there. I mean, really, the professional services side of what we do is kind of a byproduct, again, from our experience in the past. We have another side of our company that does that. And really, I'd say maybe 10% even use that anymore. I mean, really, it's all about the subscription and the onboarding process, and then we turn the keys over.
It depends upon the app. You know, when you have many 3D models in it, it's a bigger percentage is going towards the content creation than the subscription. Other clients, it doesn't matter to us if we're creating the content or our clients are. You know, ultimately, what we have is a platform to deliver it.
Is that what you're asking?
Kind of. I guess what I'm saying is, you know, there's a lot of companies there. The big companies might spend $1 billion a year on advertising and marketing. You know, $140,000 is kind of nothing. You know, so I mean, when you talk about your value proposition for a big company, I'm trying to understand, like, what are you talking about? Are you reducing their costs by 5%, 10%, 20%?
Oh, from the 140,000?
From say, you know, if they're a big company, I mean, they're dropping, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing and advertising. Why do they care to pay? You know, they could make 100 apps and it wouldn't even matter to them for pricing. You know, so I'm just trying to understand your value proposition, given the landscape of people already dumping just, you know, an ocean of money.
Yeah, I mean, really, ours isn't a marketing platform. It's a customer engagement platform. So if you're going to do a presentation, you're going to go sit down with somebody. Again, manufacturing is a big piece of our work. Caterpillar is one of our clients. So they're going to go sit down with somebody, you know, in the field, out there. You know, you're not going to be able to get online to check out a website. So those marketing dollars are mute. You're not going to be able to bring all that machinery out there to show somebody based on their needs. So how do you talk to somebody? You've got your big duffel bag full of materials that you dig through and try to answer those questions to push the sale forward. So it's that part of the budget we're going after. That's sales engagement, customer engagement. You know, they're buying the CRM stuff on the back end. You got Salesforce and everything. But again, that's all about managing leads. So how do you actually get that stuff on the front lines and engaging with customers? And that's where we fill that gap.
You kind of answered the question I was going to ask in a little bit, but can this work offline in every case?
Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah, so it's secure. So you download CommandApp. It's a platform. You log in, so you have to have a subscription. You log in, and and then the app serves up your content, and Brett will show you here. So we're offline right now. When you're online, you'll see your presentations that are available to you, on the left menu. And so you can have multiple. Our clients will have, a trade show version, a sales version, a training app version.
Spanish.
We do them in foreign languages, and so depending upon that user, they'll see the content available to them. You install it to your device, and once it's downloaded, that's where it does not need to be online anymore. And then for things like the forms and collecting information requests, it stores it on the device, queues it up, and when it gets back online, it syncs up with the cloud, and out it goes.
That was key to, again, making sure that we were putting the money in the right place in the technology, is to have that ability. Even the fact trade shows, they say they have Wi-Fi, and you pay a bunch of money to have access to Wi-Fi, and you get there, and you got a million people in that same room trying to access it. You can't play a video. You can't, have an actual 3D model that's functional. There's so many times we've gone to trade shows, and there'll be kiosks that are nothing more than portals to a website that aren't functioning. And they spent, to your question about marketing dollars, they spent tons of money on these things that nobody's using. So we looked at that and said, okay, our technology has to work offline, be flawless, collect data, and be able to connect back up. So we concentrated some heavy design around that.
Hold on a second. Hi, the product looks great. Can you talk a little bit about just your journey so far with the company? And obviously, you've got some engagements with some big name customers. How have you funded? What's been your funding strategy to get into those engagements?
Yeah, we've really.
Yeah,
this is Brett's company. I'll let him answer it.
Yeah.
But we bootstrapped it. It's it's been a journey for sure.
Yeah, the digital media company I started 15 years ago, like I said, we kind of spun that off. We've taken a lot of the money from that to fund the development here. We've decided to bootstrap it as long as we could. One, because we also didn't want to go and say, hey, here's this idea that isn't proven, nobody's buying it. Two, is to hold value, obviously, and get to the place to where we're ready to scale and then go after that. So we're getting in that place right now. We've got 2.0 is coming online right now. We're beta testing that. Has a lot more of the functionality and the tool sets that we've talked about. Once we validate that, then we're going to go after and try to scale, get some money, raise some money, and put marketing dollars into play. So we've been very pragmatic. I guess maybe that's part of the Midwestern mentality is, look, we're not going to say, hey, we're this tech company, give us a bunch of money, we got an idea. We wanted to make sure that people were using it. And not only using it, 52% of our clients add to their initial purchase. So they'll buy something for trade show, their salespeople will see it, they'll say, hey, I want that out in the field. If you add this form, add these other things we're doing manually to it, now you've got a sales tool. 52% of our customers have bought beyond that. So that's really where we see the stickiness of where this is headed, and where they move up that pricing pathway that we talked about.
Yeah, from a sales standpoint, to answer that question, we certainly just started with our own networks. Having Caterpillar as one of our first clients helped. And so, I've really focused just on manufacturers, equipment manufacturers. There was a big show last year, Con Expo, that happens every 3 years. And so that's where we focused and landed a bunch of clients in that space. But that being said, as word of mouth is spreading for us, we're starting to see other industries, medical device companies, but we do have software companies, finance, banks as well. So, there's application across multiple industries, but with our limited resources, we've just focused. And, one at a time is the answer. One at a time. Yeah.
From a content perspective, you said you have to do the onboarding. So does that mean all the content has to reside on your system? Or are you allowing APIs to feed content in so they can manage content outside of the app?
That's coming, but, ultimately, if it's going to be able to work offline, we have to pull it in. But that ability to pull in a Dropbox or pull in a Google Drive folder with your content, part of our service is to make your content look good on the device. So configuring it so it's sized right, everything's high resolution is what we're putting in here. So,
and also along those lines, we have open-ended APIs on the back end ready to plug in. What typically happens that we've dealt with, again, some of these larger corporations, is they even have damn systems. The problem is they're all a mess, and so that usually keeps people from tying into ours. So we built kind of a mini one within the context of ours. And so we can quickly get their stuff in. I mean, it's tagging, it's doing all the metadata stuff. And so we have a really nice little way to control and organize the content. So you don't have to have one of those. I mean, we can plug into one if they do. Like I said, typically we try to start small and say, just get stuff in here and we'll plug into that later, because just like Salesforce too, they're always trying to figure that out. It's not working quite the way it is. And we didn't want that to be a barrier of somebody getting this, what they have out in the hands of people in the field.
Yeah, they wouldn't need us if they just want to use their Dropbox, full of all their files and their PDFs and their brochures. And again, then you have to know what you're looking for to go find it. We're creating an interactive, engaging sales tool, that is designed for the customer to tell you. We want to turn a presentation into a conversation. We want to let the customer tell us what their pain points are, their problems, and lead to your solution rather than leading with your product brochure.
Okay, I'm going to take a question. Are you always going to sell direct to the client, or do you envision at some point down the road, I can see you know where my question is going, are other marketing companies going to be able to buy your tool, use your tool, and you get a cut of it? I mean, it seems like that is potential for expansion rather than going directly to each client and you doing the work yourselves.
Yeah, I feel like I planted that question. That is one of our asks. Is we're here to look for partners, affiliate partners. We've got a referral program. Certainly, agencies. It's a way for them to generate additional revenue by creating that content and simply using our platform as the software that is delivering it to the end user. So absolutely. We are looking for partnerships like that, and what we want to do is focus in on the platform and the tools, and then anyone, whether you're an individual photographer and you want to use this to show your portfolio, or you're an agency that has to build a trade show app for their customer, our solution can handle both of those.
So your product is a set of tools. Do your clients use the tools, or do they merely provide you with content and you use the tools and then show them?
They use the tools. We've got one that brought in, I won't say the name, but they build big machinery, and part of what their proposition is fuel savings. And so they had a fuel calculator, a spreadsheet that they've been using in order to show their product versus the competition. We have a tool set that can handle that comparison. And we loaded their stuff in, and so when they're out there in the field, they can be showing their products and then quickly say, what are you using? Let me open my fuel calculator, type in the price of fuel, and show it compared against that. So those sort of tool sets are big. The other is doing assessments, whether it's a needs assessment for a customer. We've got forms that can handle that. You can get to a point where stuff is so custom, and that's where they have to hire professional services. But we've got a bunch of templates that can handle certain levels of complexity for, again, what they're commonly using. And that's based on over 15 years of experience talking to not only our customers, but also their sales staff, knowing that not only are they presenting, but then they have to open up the spreadsheet here, or actually use pen and paper to collect data from the customer. So it's those things that we've turned into tools on the back end that they can populate with spreadsheets and what have you.
And again, so it's all in one place. It's all in one app. You don't have to go from application to application to build a quote or do an assessment or the calculator. Did that answer your question?
It does, but I do have a follow-up question. Let's say, so this is a convenience thing. If one of your clients was familiar with all of the individual tools that are out there right now, it's a lot more convenient for them to use your tool set because everything is integrated in one place. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not only accessible to one place for your associates in the field, you have a sysadmin that manages it on the back end.
Understand. My follow-up question was, do you have a way, or do you get feedback on how effective their use of your tool set is or was?
Yeah. So here you go. Yeah, so we briefly mentioned we have analytics. So when the user logs in, we know who they are, and that's what content to serve up to them. And we're tracking, what apps they launch, what tracks they take through the app.
When we say us, the system is,
The
their
system,
sysadmin
yeah.
has access.
It's based upon Google Analytics is what powers it. And so from a sales manager's perspective, you can see, what content your sales reps are showing out in the field, what path they're taking to the content, how come no one's showing the video, so you're able to suddenly have intelligence you haven't had before of, what's effective, what's working, and coach up, your sales team to match your best sales guy, or, those analytics, again, they're very powerful, and it's something that you just, from a sales manager's perspective, you don't know what's being shown from your road warriors out in the field.
Well, and part of that too is some of the industries we work with, medical, as well as some of the OSHA and some safety stuff for the larger manufacturers for construction, they have to show that due diligence. Otherwise, it opens them up to litigation and what have you. So again, this tracks it and knows that the latest materials, if you update it, are out there. It really tethers everything to one system where you can look at that and manage that.
Yeah, and pharmaceutical, you have to present on that pre-approved presentation, and CommandApp can be built that way so that it forces the sales rep to go through the content specifically as designed.
Can you talk a little bit about your competitors? I think that seemed like the closest thing company was Prezi,
Prezi.
Yeah, Prezi. Yeah. So I guess can you talk a little bit about?
Yeah, so we do have competitors out there that are doing presentation software, and again, they still take file folder approaches to things. It's a lot clunkier. Prezi, one of the things about Prezi is that
It's a roller coaster.
yeah, it's dizzying. It's dizzying, and we hear that all the time. And the thing is, when you upload your content to Prezi, they own the rights to it, and that's just completely unacceptable for corporations. And that's not something we do. So it's public too, and you can lock some things down. But again, turning over the rights to your marketing materials is not something companies will,
And
if
again,
they
it's,
know about it.
the other thing about our platform are there's tool sets to add on top of it. Same thing, we can have secure areas that are password protected. Just adding all those tool sets, we're able to grow with the purpose of the original app or the original presentation.
Yeah, beyond presentation tool.
All right, and I guess the final question is, you've partially answered it, but what can the community do for you?
Yeah, I think, obviously awareness is where we're at and spreading the word. And like I said, we're looking for referral partners.
Always looking for investment. Again,
Always looking
we're
for
getting ready to open up a round of investment, so always open to having those conversations.
Just appreciate it, and we'll be here if anybody wants to see some more examples and dig a little deeper. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.